Romero's a good puncher, and I know he's undefeated. He can fight outside, he can counterpunch, and he can go freaking get you.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin now, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly can't hit, bro.
When I watched the spar, Rolly was beating him, man. Ryan didn't have no answer for Rolly.
Ryan Garcia is back in the ring, but many boxing experts warn him not to fight Rolly Romero. Even though Garcia is fast and powerful, he doesn't have much experience against aggressive fighters like Romero. Plus, his past issues, like the Osterine scandal, make people question his discipline and ability to handle tough opponents.
It burns fat, it helps you lose fat.
So does Osterine actually burn fat? Because do steroids burn fat? Well, it works through the androgen receptor to build more muscle. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn 24 hours a day. And it does have nutrient partitioning properties, which is that when you eat calories, it's more likely to store in muscle than it is into fat. And it allows you to train harder and more frequently, which would then burn more fat while you train, plus burn more fat through the recovery process. So it's technically not a direct fat burner, but the end result of taking Osterine is to burn more fat.
And do you want to start your enhanced journey? Comment down below wisdom and I'll message you personally.
The reason Ryan got caught is during the weight cut. As you start to lose the fat in your body from the weight training, the steroids, they kind of secrete from the fat, because what happens is those drugs, that Osterine, it all gets trapped inside of your fat cells. So during the fight training camp, as you're losing that weight and you're losing that fat, some of it starts oozing out. That's why they only found a small amount, DB. It don't mean that he only took a negligible amount. They take a lot of it. They know when testing is gonna come, so they start trying to remove it out of their system before the testing comes. It still doesn't mean he didn't cheat.
Ryan Garcia's return excites fans, but experts warn him about fighting Rolly Romero. Romero's aggressive style could expose Garcia's defensive weaknesses. Even though Garcia is fast and powerful, his past Osterine ban and time away from the ring raise doubts. Many believe he needs more warm-up fights before taking on a tough, pressure-heavy fighter like Romero.
Just warn everybody that's trying to make it seem like I'm a cheater. I don't do steroids, never did steroids in my life. I barely take supplements. Only reason I did supplements this time is my therapist gave me fucking ashwagandha. I'm clean throughout the whole fucking camp. And then supposedly I pop heavy the day before and after.
That's what I don't get. Like, I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying, like, I'm on your side and, like, let's defend Ryan and shit, because, like, I don't fucking know. It doesn't make sense that he would start taking steroids the week of the fight, because it has no effect. You would have got popped in camp.
Ryan Garcia has openly shared his strong faith and dedication to boxing. He says he fears only God, stating, "I'm just afraid of God, no one else." This belief motivates his drive for success and intense training. Garcia says he trains every day, sharpening his skills and preparing carefully for his fight against Rolly Romero. His commitment shows his determination not just to compete, but to dominate in the ring.
Bring on Rolly. He's part of PBC. We already ran it once with PBC. I need to get my get back. So I'm going to beat Rolly, and we're going to have that. I just pray to God, try to see where he was guiding me. And he just led me to Dallas, led me to Derek, and I pursued it, and I'm here now, and I feel good. I feel, like it's like his family, like it's a bond. So I'm hungry, man. That's why I'm here every day training. I didn't even know this was happening, but I came to train with Derek, and like I said, it's a blessing. Happy to be part of the team. I'm improving, getting better.
On the other hand, Rolly Romero is full of confidence as he gets ready to fight Garcia. He has boldly bet $1 million that he will win by knockout. This risky wager shows how sure he is of his punching power and his belief that he can finish the fight before the final bell.
Betting man.
What would you bet on it?
Knockout.
What would your wager be, though?
$1 million.
Okay. All right. You fought twice in 2024. You were pretty active. You had the loss to Isaac Cruz, but you came back against Manuel Jaimes. Ryan obviously only had one, and he's been out the ring since the whole suspension with the Haney situation. How do you feel about him having that time off and you still being somewhat more active than he was? Do you feel like that's an advantage?
I'm at this level, nobody's truly active like that. Like, I mean, this level, if you fight twice a year, you're golden. I mean, It's been a year for him, but I mean, he had a busy last year before that, so I mean, he fought 3 times that year.
Many boxing experts and fans are excited, saying the Garcia versus Romero fight could be even more thrilling than Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. While Haney and Lomachenko are known for their technical skills, Garcia and Romero bring a mix of speed, power, and unpredictable styles. This matchup is expected to create an action-packed fight that entertains fans and adds excitement to the sport.
Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero is going to be a big event. And sadly, it may destroy Devin Haney's and Lomachenko's destroy their numbers. People love knockouts. And you know Rolly Romero versus King Ryan Garcia, there's going to be a knockout. And either way, if Rolly Romero were to knock out Ryan Garcia, that would be hysterical. Ryan Garcia, he knocks out Rolly Romero, he becomes like this superhero. Because the whole Tony Weeks, Barroso thing, okay, the press conference would be crazy. Don't forget, Rolly Romero versus Gervonta Tank Davis, before the Ryan Garcia fight, that was his biggest fight. He made for the biggest pay-per-view draw for Gervonta Tank Davis. He's going to do the same. But don't forget, Gervonta Tank Davis, him versus King Ryan Garcia, did make history. And both of them were in the ring that night. So people want to see how Ryan Garcia looks coming back.
Gervonta Tank Davis, a top name in boxing, has shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight, warning people not to underestimate Rolly Romero. Davis says Romero has serious punching power, even calling him the hardest hitter among his peers. This praise from a fellow fighter highlights the danger Romero brings and reminds Garcia to stay sharp against his knockout power.
Can Rolly put out the upset? I don't want to say that's crazy, but yeah, hopefully for him, hopefully for the sake of Rolly, he pull it off. But it's gonna be a good fight. No, you think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out.
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin down, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly can hit, bro. Like he can hit. He's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his head.
Is that the hardest one? Is that the hardest one you faced throughout your whole career? Is that the hardest one?
Who else I sparred that was like that was Danny Garcia. I sparred Danny Garcia, and that guy, he get hit. Danny, what? He Puerto Rican, huh?
Crazy.
Everything. Every line. He didn't touch me. He didn't touch me with nothing clean. But when he did touch me, he like hit me all across the ring, like boom, boom. Like, dang.
You see that Ryan's not back with Eddie Reynoso, obviously Tim Canelo. You think that's gonna why do you think that's gonna be good for him?
Because he's around someone.
Biggest trainers.
Yeah, he's around someone that's great like Canelo, so he could be able to feed off of him. Anytime you put someone like around like other great people, it always rub off. You know what I mean? So I think that him being back with Team Canelo is going to be great for Ryan.
In addition to praising Romero, Gervonta Davis has questioned Ryan Garcia's place in boxing. He has openly said that Garcia shouldn't be a boxer, suggesting doubts about his dedication or skill level.
He shouldn't be a boxer. I don't think so. Because it's even just like me, I start watching his like interviews and things like that, just watching him as a person, like trying to get to know him. I just don't see it for him. I just don't see it. Like, boxing on Instagram probably be cool, but not an actual fighter. Like, he should like train people or something like that. I don't know. I just don't see it for him.
Boxing experts have been debating the strengths of both fighters. Ryan Garcia is praised for his raw talent, speed, and technical skills, while Rolly Romero is known for his warrior mentality and relentless fighting spirit. Many believe Romero's toughness and aggressive style could be a serious challenge for Garcia, who may need more than just talent to win.
So Dre, today I want to get with you and get your insight on the matchup between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. How do you see that fight?
Well, if and when that fight go down, man, I really don't care about either of the two. You know, Rolly he too much for me, right? Ryan has a lot of potential, but at the same time, you know, I just ain't feeling him too much. Yeah, so Ryan has all of the talent, right? Formal, boy can execute. He's not scared. You see what he did when he got in there with Tank, leading up to the knockout, right? Rolly has a big mouth and has the mentality to back it up. I honestly don't feel like that'll be enough. I think Ryan, especially the last fight with Tank, grew a lot since then, and I see him, if that fight ever takes place, taking it, Ryan.
The history between Garcia and Romero makes their upcoming fight even more interesting. In past sparring sessions, Romero reportedly had the upper hand, dominating Garcia. This could give Romero a mental edge, boosting his confidence in the ring. On the other hand, Garcia might be extra motivated to prove himself and overcome his past struggles.
Ryan Garcia gotta redeem himself. He on that PED. He on that. What you think? Who gonna win? Rolly, Ryan Garcia? What's going on?
Well, when you look at these fighters' history, Rolly and Ryan, they have a big history. They actually sparred before. You can go watch their fight on YouTube.
They say he cloud chasing.
Yeah. What's up? I'm gonna be honest, man. When I watched the spar, Rolly was beating him, man. Ryan didn't have no answer for Rolly. If Ryan don't be aggressive on Rolly, I feel like Rolly just gonna, take the fight to him. And
check this out. You got Ryan Garcia winning, man. Simple. Rolly gonna have to get that smoke.
Rolly Romero has openly criticized Ryan Garcia, dismissing him as a real boxer. He sees Garcia more as a media personality than a serious fighter, questioning his dedication and commitment to the sport. This adds a personal edge to their matchup, increasing the tension and competitiveness between them.
He's not a boxer, so who gives a about him?
This is going to be wild. The homies at the Source of Boxing have confirmed that Ryan Garcia will fight Rolly Romero this May. And I don't know what's going to be crazier, the fight or the press conferences, because this is what Rolly had to say about compa Ryan the last time I interviewed him. Check it out.
I know there's been a lot of back and forth between you and Ryan Garcia. What are your thoughts and what message would you send him right now, brother?
I have no thoughts about him. I don't give a about him. He's not a boxer, so who gives a about him? Of course, thank you.
At a press conference, observers noticed that Ryan Garcia seemed isolated, with only his father by his side while his promoters were absent. Rolly Romero pointed this out, saying that when a fighter loses, everyone leaves, but when they win, everyone is around them. His comment highlights how support in boxing can be unpredictable and may reflect the pressures Garcia faces both in and out of the ring.
Ryan's promoters and his trainer left him alone at the post-fight press conference. There was no Oscar De La Hoya. There was no Joe Goosen. There was no Bernard Hopkins. What you think about that? That he was up there basically by himself with his father while Tank had his whole team up there with him at the post-fight press conference.
When you lose, everybody abandons you. When you win, everybody's with you. Tank ever loses, he's gonna see that too. Happened to me. Happened to. I'm telling you, everybody done. Like, my team was with me. My team stayed with me. My team was loyal. But everybody else in my life done just ticked away. And then even before that, when everything else bad happened to me, prior to the fight, everyone picked away. All I look at is God fleshing out people out of my life, and God fleshed out people out of his life. And at the end of it, what stayed with him was the truth.
Recent training footage of both fighters has surfaced, drawing analysis from experts and fans. Some believe Romero's training shows a level of intensity and technique that could be a problem for Garcia. While training clips don't always predict fight results, they offer a glimpse into each fighter's current form and strategy.
Rolly, they sparred and Rolly bullied him. Rolly bullied him to the point. Ryan was leaking. Go watch that sparring video. His power is definitely legit. Both of them.
He ain't no scrub.
But
you think he gonna be walking Garcia down all fight?
He definitely gonna be trying to. I'm saying Rolly Romero gonna go in this fight trying to bully him.
Yeah.
He gonna try to come out fast because Ryan is not somebody you want to try to let get in the rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he got a good reach. You ain't trying to
really
let him keep him at distance. So he definitely got to close that distance all fight.
But in that sparring video, Rolly got hit with that left hook like 10 times. And that was what head gave.
On the left hook on this highlight tape.
Who?
Rolly. He didn't get dropped, but he got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In response to the challenge Romero presents, Ryan Garcia has stepped up his training, recognizing his opponent's power and threat. Reports say he is pushing himself harder than ever in the gym, showing his commitment to winning. Meanwhile, the significance of their past sparring sessions has sparked debate among boxing fans. Some believe Romero's previous dominance could give him a mental edge in the fight, while others argue that sparring doesn't always predict real fight outcomes, as fighters often hold back or test new strategies in training.
As for the sparring between these two, obviously I've seen the sparring. My personal opinion is that I don't really read into it all that much. I think that if you drop a guy in sparring, if you knock a guy out in sparring, if you force him to quit in sparring, then you might always have a part of you that feels like mentally you've got the upper hand on that man, having got the better of him before. But this spar in particular feels completely different to me. The circumstances are just so different because you haven't really bettered that man before, have you, if you're Rolly Romero? Like, I've watched that spar, as most of you guys have, and was it a one-sided beatdown? I didn't really think so. I thought it was a spar where one man was coming to spar in Ryan Garcia and one man was coming to brawl. And remember, there is about a 3.5-year age gap between these two, so I believe at the time of the sparring that we've seen the footage of, Ryan Garcia is about 17, Romero's about 21. That's a big difference, you know. When it's between sort of 25 and 28, it isn't that big a difference, but yeah, 17 and 20 odd or 21, whatever it was, that's a big difference. That's a lot of man strength that Romero's going to have on his side, and for me, it looked like the cleaner work in the earlier rounds was coming from Ryan Garcia, and then I think in the later rounds, as you would expect, the older man got to him a little bit more. I find that of a lot of sparring partners, you know. I'll spar ABA champions and stuff like that, and they'll have quick starts against me where they're vastly more experienced than me, but in the later rounds I'll drag them a little bit deeper and I'll have more success. Those things can happen, and past Riyadh season cards have showed us, especially, you know, Daniel Dubois against Filip Hrgovic, that what happens in sparring doesn't always mean that much when it comes to what happens in the fight.
Gervonta Davis's coach recently shared his thoughts on the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero fight, suggesting that this matchup might be easier for Garcia than his previous bout against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He noted that if Garcia was able to apply pressure against Tank Davis, he should be able to do the same against Romero. This view contrasts with many who believe Romero's relentless pressure and power could be too much for Garcia to handle.
Pitbull Cruz, now it's switched up to Rolly. What's your thoughts just knowing that?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think Rolly would be either one of them. I'm sorry. Garcia would be either one of them.
Garcia.
But I think Pitbull will give him more problems than Rolly, though.
So you believe that the Rolly Romero fight for Ryan Garcia would be an easier match?
Yeah, you know, Rolly allergic to left hooks, man. In the gym, in the ring.
The Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero fight is set to take place on a grand stage, Times Square, New York. This high-profile location highlights the fight's importance, as only major boxing events receive such massive promotion. Holding the fight in the heart of New York shows how much attention it has gained and how crucial it is for both fighters' careers. A win could elevate either fighter to new levels of stardom, while a loss could have lasting consequences.
Imagine a fight in Times Square, like literally in the middle of New York, in Times Square, like a little ring being there. Can you imagine that? Well, you don't have to imagine it more. Why? Because May 2nd, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero is official and it's taking place in Times Square. Oh, and I'm serious. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, Devin Haney versus Ramirez, and Teofimo versus Honor Barboza is now official for May 2nd in Times Square. Yes, in Times Square. I have so many questions. First of all, how are they going to do this? How are they going to pull this off? Are people going to be comfortable watching this? Are you going to charge? Is this going to be free? How is this happening? I have no clue. I have so many questions, zero answers, but on May 2nd, I will get my questions answered. Turkey Al Sheikh, Ring Magazine, They're the ones bringing this whole card to New York. This is going to be a great card. Let me know, what do you guys think about this? I personally think this card is going to be great. You can say whatever you want about Rolly, but the man always knows how to entertain the crowd, whether that be press conference or whether that be the fight, but the man knows how to entertain. And Ryan Garcia, what I have to say about him after his fight against Devin Haney, I really don't have to say much. Let me know, what do you guys think about this?
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time with Knockout Chronicles.